What's different about this race?
Well, what's different about this race is we have a deeply flawed candidate in the Attorney General who will, in all likelihood, cause us to lose not only the Senate seat, but other Republican races down ballot as well.
So would you be running if he wasn't running?
Well, that's a good question. That's a hypothetical that I don't guess I have to answer because he is running. But we need good people. We don't need crooks and people with corrupt records of corruption trying to represent the state. We deserve better than that.
Welcome back to Way Too Early, 5:30 here on the East Coast, 2:30 out west. I'm Ali Vitale, and that was part of my conversation with Republican Senator John Cornyn of Texas. The state's closely watched Senate primaries will take place tomorrow. It's one of the first major tests of the 2026 midterms, as Cornyn and other Republican leaders warn the Senate could potentially flip blue this fall. As with most things in Texas,
this is the power of the people.
This year's Senate race is going to be big.
Republican and Democratic primaries here are a microcosm of each party's national debate over future message and messenger.
Longtime incumbent Senator John Cornyn slugging it out to keep his seat, battling controversial Attorney General Ken Paxton and two-term Congressman Wesley Hunt for the Republican nomination.
On March 3rd, let's turn the page.
Cornyn campaigning on ties to Trump.
I voted with the president 99.3% of the time.
And an ability to get things done across the aisle.
Do you feel like the primary rewards that?
Well, you know, Ronald Reagan liked to say, if you agree with me 8 times out of 10, you're a friend and an ally, not a 20% traitor. And I think we drifted a little bit from that.
Paxton embodies that Republican drift here.
We are going to defeat John Cornyn.
Campaigning on conservative red meat issues.
I can tell you right now, elections are not fair around the country.
But his scandals now concerning some Republicans about his ability to win.
But Ken Paxton will be the kiss of death for Republicans on the ticket in November of 2026.
Paxton skipping our question about that take.
John Cornyn has said that you're the kiss of death in Texas.
Last summer, Paxton's wife filed for divorce on what she called biblical grounds. 2 years prior, he avoided being removed from his post on abuse of office charges that Texas House Republicans voted overwhelmingly for.
Trump went through the very same thing, and look where he's at.
Trump staying out of this one.
It's going to be an interesting one, right? They're both great people, too.
Polls show Paxton up, but not by enough to avoid a runoff.
We are building a movement to take back the state and take back.
On the Democratic side, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and State Representative James Tallarico's head-to-head is all about who can win.
I am not afraid to deal with electability because I know my credentials.
Reviving familiar questions about race, gender, and electability.
And I think James Tallarico is specifically just, he can advocate for all of us.
Why Crockett? I feel like we need someone that's bold.
The primary features different visions for how Democrats can finally flip Texas blue.
It is about making sure that the base is energized. A lot of people don't want to come out for a politician that just sounds like another Republican but has a D in front of their name.
Describe your theory, how it's different, how you think Democrats finally flip Texas.
You have to both increase black and brown turnout. You've got to increase youth turnout, which is what our campaign is doing in this primary. And you've got to peel off independents and some Republicans.
Crockett dominates among black voters.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Tallarico successfully playing for young voters and some disenchanted Republicans.
If someone like me is now asking for the Democratic ballot, I mean, it's just a small sign. It should be a wake-up call to the Republican Party, which I no longer recognize as the Republican Party.
In 2014, pre-Trump, Cornyn won by nearly 30 points. 6 years later, that margin was cut in half.
What's different about this race?
Well, what's different about this race is we have a deeply flawed candidate.
But it's also today's GOP that might have changed.
If I was a lifetime Republican, now I voted Democrat all the way.
Why?
After the way the immigration issue is being conducted. I don't want to live like that.
So amid all of the other news, that was an important story for us to tell, in large part because those primaries grapple with the same issues that these parties are both grappling with nationally. On the Republican side, do you become more Trumpian, more MAGA? Or on the Democratic side, is it just about picking someone who can win? And frankly, who do we give the benefit of the doubt to in these kinds of races where both candidates are untested statewide? I will also tell you that last voter that we heard from there, a Republican who said, I've never asked for a Democratic ballot before, but I'm doing it now because of immigration and because I feel the party has tilted too much in favor of President Trump. We hear about those voters in polling all the time. Getting to meet them is a different story and potentially, as that one voter said to me, a warning sign for other Republicans as they head into the midterms. We're going to be tracking that election closely. Of course, Election Day is tomorrow, but still ahead for us.